Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Down the bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Guess that's why the labels want the rights to me. CD on my back and it feel light to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me.
Welcome back to another episode of Boss Talk, your midweek pick-me-up for your gems and your jokes, for your advancement and your growth. We are glad to be back with you. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to the community. Make sure you pay your rent on time. We like rent paid on time here. And make sure you take out your garbage, all right? Because trash comes every Wednesday. We are back and excited for this episode. I think because we both are in a place where this episode is going to mean a lot. And we basically want to talk about intentional focus, all right, and what that means to us. But Cam can talk about how we got to this subject of intentional focus, and we can get in there. So yeah, today we're just gonna deep dive into the power of intentional focus and see where if you guys are intentionally focused yourselves.
Well, I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just going to read what I had wrote for this episode, but it's intentionally creating the life, space, and habits that you need to focus to accomplish or reach a certain goal.
Absolutely.
So that's what intentional focus is to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there because I'm 35. And I got 6 months left in this year.
Absolutely. Which is a long, short time.
A long, short time. Long enough to make a change, but short enough
it can go by quick.
that it could go by quick if you're playing. So I was like, I want to lock in. After we got back, I want to lock in for the next 6 months and intentionally change my entire life.
Yeah.
My habits, my business, my finances, my health, all of it, as much as I can in 6 months. And ever since we got back, that's what I've been on, and that's what we've been on. But when I say intentional focus, I mean really looking at your life and seeing where you want to make those changes. Because it's one thing to say, hey, I want to lose weight, I want more money, or I want to start that thing I've always been putting off. Like, that's vague. Like, to intentionally do it, you be like, I'm going to work out 4 times a week, no matter what. I'm going to make sure cardio's in it because of this reason. I'm going to make sure I'm doing weightlifting because of this reason. I want this goal. I want to lose this amount of weight. I want to gain this amount of muscle. I want to eat like this for this reason. That's being intentional.
Yep.
And the more intentional and precise you are with it, the most of the time you will stick with it and be motivated to stay with it.
Yeah.
When we vague with things, we live a vague life. We
Yeah.
just let it go by the way. So yeah, I want to do that, but you never get to it. Because you wasn't intentional about it. You didn't set intention on it. You didn't put a big why on it. You didn't put a big enough reason on it for you to actually follow through what you said. So that's what I want to get into a little more. But I'll let you spit before I spit some more.
Yeah. I think it's a narrow and a wide view of looking at things. I think when we are we are focused, that's a very wide view. Because I think the human brain has the ability to focus and do other things. Like, so you could say, all right, I'm going to focus on getting an extra $1,000 this month or whatever. And that's cool, but it's like, what's the intention of the $1,000? Is it just to have the money? Is it just like, I'm getting it for this specific thing? If you can get it, but then also still be doing a lot of other things that could subtract you getting that. And I think intentional focus is a very narrow view. It's very concise. It's very understood what the mission is, how people say they understood the assignment. I think intentional focus is understanding the assignment. I think it's just eliminating unnecessary distractions. It's my bad. It's eliminating unnecessary distraction, and it's allowing you to concentrate on what truly brings the correct amount of productivity to your life and your business.
And I love that you say that. I want to bounce you back off that, like, to give it a more precise example. Take your example. If you want to make $1,000, say, next month now, since we're coming towards the end of July, I want to make $1,000 extra in August. What you're going to have to do is, first, what he said, why do you want to do this? What's the reason? Because that's going to motivate you to go after it. After you figure out and identify what's your reason, now you want to identify how are you capable of making an extra $1,000? Are you somebody and that's in editing or something, or you got a skill set in the art world where you can do some freelance for somebody, maybe some Photoshop work, maybe some After Effects work, maybe you can edit this or that. Are you a copywriter? Can you do freelance copywriting? Are you somebody that's in the market and you get the extra $1,000 out of the stock market? Or are you somebody who got a bunch of extra clothes laying around that you know are worth a little bit of change, or somebody will find value in, and you take enough of those clothes to thrift shops where you make $1,000? Like, you have to identify what your skill set is or how you're capable of doing it after you identify your why. And then you'll be able to intentionally go after that goal.
Yeah.
Without breaking it down to them steps. And this is wishful thinking, to be honest, because I can just say I want an extra $1,000, but what's the plan to get there?
What's the intentionality behind it? And I think you have to learn, and what I'm learning too is you got to work based on your personality type too, right? So, they got their little Enneagram test where they have different personality types, type A, type B, all different types. But if you're a type that is more reclusive and and likes to be inside, then a speaking role or a podcast may not be what you need to go down. I think when you have intentional focus, I think you really narrowing down like what is going to make sense, what is going to bring me not only ease and peace, but also make sense for this this time in my life. And I think intentional focus is a speed thing, in a sense where it's like, not that you're rushing through it, but if you give yourself a deadline, like we still using next month for an example, if $1,000 next month, great, that's a deadline, because a deadline has a propelling force behind it. Now that you have that deadline, your view of everything is very narrow, because it's like, all right, when you have the 6-month deadline, it's like, it's wide. When you got the 1-month deadline, it's okay, it's narrow. I can see exactly what's going on. And we know wealth likes speed. So I think when you be intentional and have intentional focus, everything speeds up for your good if you're doing it the right way. And I think a lot of people just say, oh, I'm focused right now. And they don't really know what that means. Like, a lot of people say, I'm focused right now. We've said it. I'm focused right now. It's like, cool. On what, and what's the intention of the focus? Right? We said we want to do 7 figures. That's the focus. But we ain't really have no, which we learned, we ain't really have no intentionality behind that focus. And it's like, oh, you really got to get specific with these goals.
So you got to make a plan. You got to be intentional with everything. That's such a lofty goal that you have no choice but to be intentional, because you really got to break down how you going to do this to the point, like, how much do I need to make each month? How much do I need to make each week? How much I got to make each day to get to this goal?
Who do I need to talk to?
It could be one month is a bigger lump than the other, but at least you know this is where I need to be. This is the range I need to be in to hit this goal. And then what do I have to do to make that type of money each day, each month, each week? Those are the things that when we said we want to make 7 figures, we wasn't breaking it down like that.
Yeah.
We would just say, yeah, we're going to do it just because.
We're going to do it.
Nah, it don't
It's
work
great
like
to
that.
have faith.
Definitely.
But without works.
There you go. There you go.
Know?
Faith without works, we learn.
Which I think is faith. It's focused intention. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just it's focused
But when
intention.
we have had a plan, because it's been months, we want to make this much this month. Every time we said we want to do it and we made a plan for it, it happened.
Yeah.
So that goes to show that once you're more intentional with it, you're very capable of doing it. We was not intentional with that.
Yeah.
It was just a lofty goal that sounded cool, that definitely we want, but we didn't put no intention behind it. And now we learned a valuable lesson that I will learn from and not repeat.
Yeah, can't
So
repeat
next
that
time
again.
I say I want to make this amount, how I know I need to come up with a plan to do it.
Come with the blueprint.
But also, I want to hit on, because I like how you hit on is certain person. You said personalities.
Yeah, certain personality type.
Also, so another one of my favorite authors is Greg McKeown. I think that's how you say his name.
Good.
He wrote Essentialism, which was a great book. I feel like one of my favorite books. And one of basically the message in that is like breaking down really what's essential. If it's not a clear yes, it should be a clear no. So now he got his next book called Effortless. And basically the message in this thus far is how, the whole mantra of work harder and work smarter, not harder. That's basically what he's trying to tell you. Like all those preconceived notions that you gotta be killing yourself, work the longest hours.
Yeah.
You don't always got to do like that. He said, break it down where whatever your goal is, even if it's a hard goal, what's the easy way? And most of the time, you'll find that there's always an easy way. We just don't ever think about it because we're so caught up in, I got to grind. I gotta put in the most hours. I got to stay at work the latest. Got to be there first. And it don't always have to be that way. But one thing, the chapter I read today, he was talking about how the things we dread to do that we got to do, or things that we perceive hard, the way to get it done is add a little bit of enjoyment to it. Because a lot of things we do have like that, what they call it, like say if I'm working out and then I get the results later, delayed gratification.
Yeah.
So he said a lot of things we got to do to get to the reward. But he's like, all right, so for example, he came off the road and he came back to so many voicemails that he had to get back to, call these people back, but he was just dreading it. Cause he was just like, he didn't want to do it. Felt like it was going to take all day. It just felt like work. So he said, how can I make this easier on me where I can actually enjoy doing this or put myself in a space where it could be easier? So he said he decided to do all the voicemail calls, return calls in his hot tub. And he said every time he called a person, he told them he was in his hot tub, and everyone laughed, and it just made the conversation lighter and made the conversation more enjoyable to the point where when he was done getting back to all the voicemails, he was upset he didn't have more. Because now he made it an enjoyable thing to do.
Absolutely.
He gave another example with his family. After they done eating, he said all his kids seem to be like ninjas. They disappear. They don't want to clean up. And when you try to call them back, it's like pulling teeth and everyone's dreading it. So he said, what can they do? So he started playing, he did a point system at first. Like whoever gets points and then get a reward. He said it worked a little bit, but still was getting pushback. He said it wasn't until they started playing Disney songs that everyone just came together because it became fun. They all singing the song out loud. So he put something that they both all enjoy together with something they don't, but it made it feel like it's a happy time that they look forward to now. So it's like things when you're intentional with your focus and you got to do something that you perceive hard or something that you don't want to do, but for the greater good, how can you add enjoyment to that?
We have a real life example that you just reminded me of that we did, but now I'm realizing that we did it effortlessly because we did it in an enjoyable thing. Granted, we enjoy business, but like sometimes business isn't like the best thing for us. Sometimes we just like being silly, fun, creative, right? But when you're building a business, you got to have certain structures, certain things that go in place. And we have been working on like revamping our mission statement. And to your point, we did it in an environment that we both enjoy. And that you see the energy was so it's like some people, that's why a lot of writers or digital nomad, they go to these places where it's like it's gonna give them a sense of like, okay, this is creative energy. Like I know that's my personality is sometimes working inside my room isn't the best. Like just the other day when I went out to a coffee shop, I started getting ideas. I seen people walking in with different shirts, different shades. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's just a different environment. Some people can work inside their home and that's fine. So you got to find, like you said, what's going to make whatever task you're doing just a little bit more enjoyable. You ain't got to go crazy and go completely off the schedule, but just find the little things that are going to like help you. And I think right now I'm embracing the finite nature of time. Like, I'm realizing, once again, going back to 35, every day I'm like, man, time it's getting less and less because not in a sense where we're older, but
You right there on the fence.
We
You're
just
in the middle.
Yeah, we just don't know, and I just don't know what tomorrow brings. I don't know. The world is a crazy place right now. Hollywood shut down. Things, you just don't know where the world is moving. So it's like, all right, I need to embrace the finite nature of time, and I'm realizing that nothing else matters to me except the things that matter to me. And like that's where I'm at. I'm like,
because you're intentional.
I'm very intentional. Like, what I'm about to do, or what this activity I'm about to do, or whatever this other distraction is it worth me in 6 months saying, damn it, I think it was that one moment that this really just threw me for a loop? And because you notice the little things that you do, the habits that you do, and we continue to do them until, like you said, you either get tired. You have to get tired. You got to get tired of be like, I keep eating this same food. I keep going back to the same person. I keep doing the same old things. And it's like, because I'm not intentionally focused on where I'm trying to go. I'm just kind of focused on it. I think it's there. Like, we all know I know I'm gonna get there, but like, you can really speed up getting there by just really honing in and really focusing.
That's what I love about what you said about you don't want one thing throwing you off. That goes back to essentialism. Once you intentional know where you're going, it makes it easy to make decisions. Because if I know what I'm about to do is going to throw me off my goal or where I'm trying to go, it should be a no.
It empowers you to say no.
It should be a no.
Yeah.
It makes it so easy to make decisions. Or is this going to help me get to where I want to be? Oh, and then it's a yes. Even for designs or business decisions, personal decisions, once you have an intentional focus and you know where you're going, all decisions are easy. It's only when we vague where we want to go or what we doing is decisions hard. You be like, should I do this? If you asking yourself, should I do this? You ain't intentional enough.
Yeah.
To be honest. And then it goes back to habits that you brought up. And I wanted to hit on that. Like, once you know the goal and you're intentional on the goal, now you got to develop or create the habits that's going to help you get there. Like for me, I recently told you I switched from calling it a morning routine that's to a morning ritual, and I realized that I need to do that. Some people, don't do morning routine, just can get up at any time, can just do. I need structure. I notice I'm a person that needs structure, so I need to get up at the same time. I need to do my routine because that's gonna help me prepare for when I do start working. Because if I don't do it, then I feel kind of like off, like I'm just rushing into it. It's almost like working out or running without stretching. That's how I feel. If I don't do my routine, like I still need to wake up. I still need to get my mind, my body going so I can be at my optimal state to get whatever I'm trying to accomplish done. So for me, it's essential. And I put intention on it. And now I'm trying to get back to my night routine to help me even more. And that's what I've been, since I got back. Before we left, I was on it. Now I'm trying to get back into that. But the morning ritual is back for sure. But it's like certain habits are going to help you. And like even me changing my diet, I see the difference in that. Like the way my body feel.
Because you focused on it.
Yeah, because I put intention. Like I'm not trying to eat a bunch of processed stuff after experience how it felt not to eat any processed stuff.
Absolutely.
So now I already done switched to the milk I'm using. I was on this almond milk, found out that shit was terrible. Now I'm on this oat milk that only got 3 ingredients.
I bought it and you right, it is small.
Yeah, it's small.
Small as fuck.
But
it's intentional.
I didn't know intentionally it was gonna be that small. Now I'm gonna go back more intent and buy more.
Yeah.
But I just see how my body feel. My body needs to be at its best to accomplish my best.
Yeah.
I know that for sure.
It's at its highest frequency.
I need to be at my highest frequency to get those blessings that only reside on that frequency. And that's what I'm going to do. So whatever I got to do to be at my best so I can bring my best and receive my best, I'm going to do.